Hello class, my name is Leiltine Hara and this is Beyond the Bus Incident. First, I just want you to imagine that you are 14 years old and after you get off of school, you go to the public transportation to get a ride home. All of a sudden, this man starts yelling slurs, cuss words, and telling you you're everything that's wrong with the country. When people try and step in to help you, he pulls out a taser, resulting in everyone fleeing the bus and you hiding behind a tree. This is a real-life example of anti-Asian American discrimination. First, I just want to talk to you guys about my specific purpose. I want to talk to you guys about the history of anti-Asian American discrimination, how it started, where it is in our society today, and how to counteract it. My thesis is very similar. The harassment of a Vietnamese Asian American in San Francisco who was riding the Muni bus shows how there are still prejudice and stereotypes towards Asian Americans today. With the counteraction of intercultural communication, it can help promote respect and inclusion in all sorts of cultures. The definition that we learned in our chapter 4 is Speaker in Progress is that culture refers to shared beliefs, ideas, traditions, identities, the way people communicate. That's what makes up a culture. We also learned about intercultural competence communication. This is the ability to be able to effectively ask questions, listen, and educate ourselves on both sides, creating empathy and having open-mindedness towards other cultures. Next, I just want to talk to you guys about the historical foundations. First thing is the Chinese Act of 1882. This essentially was just stopping immigration from Asians coming into the country. This promoted the idea of foreigners, Asians are foreigners, which is where it still comes up today in society. Another thing is the Japanese American internment during World War II. This is when Japanese Americans, even though they were in our society, they were put into camps just out of fear of other citizens during this time, which is again giving them the feeling of foreigners, even though they were American citizens. There's a long history of Asian stereotypes, and as we can see, dating back to 1882, and these stereotypes do continue today. I got some evidence from the Pew Research Center, found that most Asian Americans report experiencing discrimination or feeling treated as foreigners despite them being American citizens, demonstrating the historical prejudice that still affects people's everyday life. Next, I'm going to talk to you guys about the present social, political, and cultural factors. Anti-Asian American stereotypes still exist today. There are many things. Social media contributes a big factor of oftentimes jokes, and even these jokes can be racist. People think they're funny, they spread throughout the internet. Also, through things family members have taught you, told you growing up that have kind of just stuck with you. Things friends, people in class, things like that. Very important to educate yourself. We also learned this term, ethnocentrism. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And it creates a very us versus them mindset, or my culture is superior to yours, which is not any better with hearing out other people's cultures and kind of where this discrimination starts. Prejudice leads to discrimination. I always think of prejudice as the attitude and then discrimination as the action on it, so they kind of go hand in hand. And last thing I wanted to highlight is that hate incidents still happen in the US today. Like we heard about one earlier in this presentation, just one of many that happen every single day. I have two pieces of evidence here. According to the Pew Research 2023, nearly 3/4 of Asian Americans reported experiencing discrimination or feeling that others viewed them as perpetual foreigners. Next one, in addition, Associated Press reported that they found many Asian Americans still fearing harassment despite increased public awareness of anti-Asian hate, showing that the prejudice continues to affect their daily life. So even with the more awareness of stopping Asian hate, we still see these hate incidents. Lastly, I just want to talk to you about becoming culturally competent. How can we be better? It starts with very simple things. Keep an open mind, being empathetic, really putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Recognize personal bias. This is why I say to put yourself in other people's shoes, because sometimes it's easier to see what really is biased and what is made up and how you'd feel if you were in that situation. Another thing is like asking questions and being respectful when you ask these questions. It's not a bad thing to be curious. It's actually good to educate yourself in that way, but just there's a respectful manner you can do it in. Educate yourself is probably the most important. Like I said earlier, we hear all sorts of things, especially in social media today, so it's really important that you're getting the actual facts and checking your sources and checking if things are real, AI, things like that. Lastly, speak up against discrimination. As I said, there's awareness of anti-Asian hate, but there's still all these incidents going on. So just standing up creates a stronger community showing that is not okay and that is not going to be tolerated. Evidence I have here is the Stop Asian Hate organization continues to document thousands of reports of anti-Asian harassment, demonstrating the importance of education, community support, and reporting systems that encourage people to stand against discrimination. Lastly, I just want to touch on the satisfaction. Although that discrimination still exists, I thought it was very hopeful to think you don't have to change the whole world overnight or change the whole US. It really just starts with you educating yourself, maybe encouraging your friends, family members, classmates to educate themselves as well. Choosing to have understanding over assumptions, things you've heard. Being empathetic and open-minded when you hear these things as well. Really going over your history, things like that. Lastly, I hope this presentation just showed you how to act on discrimination, why it is a very important thing, and how intercultural communication is very important to understanding each other, not only just for Asian Americans, but for lots of different cultures. And then finally, here are my resources. Thank you guys.